Hello, welcome back to my series on Factorio building the Mega Factory. My name is Azrael, and come along with me as we do episode 2. I have to apologize beforehand. This episode is a little more disorganized than I would like to do it, but I'm still kind of getting the hang of all this. Anyway, building up some more mining resources there. And I realize that I'm still a little low on power. I fixed a little bit of that in the last episode, but not quite enough. So add a few more, and then just decide to activate the rest of them. What, who cares? So we're going to go up and take care of a little bit of the coal issue there, get that all set up. But then, out of nowhere, it's my first official biter attack down here where I just was a second ago. Destroyed some power lines in the coal feeding system there. Nothing too horrendous, but it does make me realize that I need to take care of some security issues sooner rather than later. Make sure the power is still on to my copper mining situation there. Set up a few turrets, and I'm still using the standard ammunition, which I realize is not very effective, but in this early game it should be good enough for now. Later on I'll be getting some research done to get the armor-piercing ammo, but until then, it's still kind of weak. So I decided to augment the defenses with a couple of walls. There's a second turret down there. Always good to build them in pairs, because that way if one gets overrun, you've still got a backup. And then I realized, I start setting up a wall. Realize I've kind of built it a little wrong there. And in hindsight, I realized it's just really not an effective wall in the first place. Go get a couple more of my stone bricks. And right now, I don't have any more stone being mined because I don't have any other deposits in the area. So I'm going to have to get that taken care of eventually. In the meantime, getting some more defenses set up in the more heavy polluting areas, such as my mining facility over here. And then I'm going to go see where the iron smelting is, add a few more furnaces in there, just to get things rolling. Do my typical setup, leaving enough space for the eventual upgrade to electric furnaces. That's why they've got that one little extra tiles worth of belts leading off of there. Because the stone and steel furnaces are 2x2 footprint, and the electric furnaces are 3x3, so you kind of have to compensate for that a little bit. Going up here to the belt production, making sure everything is running as efficiently as I can get it. A couple more biter attacks, but nothing serious, so I can leave those alone for now. There we go. That should get everything there running smoothly for now. And then I'm going to head up here to my inserter factory, and I realized the main flaw that I did here is that I set it up to run parallel to the main bus, when in reality I should have made it perpendicular, or horizontal in this case. So just deciding whether or not that would be worth my time to fix, or there goes some more research. I'm quickly running out of the red-only research, so I'm going to have to do something about that soon. But in the meantime, just sort of tooling around. Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of this biter base up in the north soon. There I go, testing the waters, and almost dying, because I realized not only do I not have the right ammunition, I don't even have a submachine gun yet. And this is something I really don't even take care of until later on. Right now I'm just building up some more ammo. There's more research. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and fix this the inserter factory to run it horizontally instead of vertically. That way I can conserve space and have some room for other production areas in my mega factory to come. Just deconstructing all of that now. I'm going to go ahead and set it up over here. Because the reason I'm doing that is so that it would be a little easier to take a line of the regular inserters and the smart inserters, which will be eventually needed for blue science. And I can run those lines elsewhere in the factory. I'm going to move up the circuit feed by one tile. Seems to be a common theme here, is that I'm always just one tile off. I can't wait until I get blueprints so that would be a little easier to take care of. Go ahead and run that over. And all three of my inserter factory or assemblers require those circuits, whereas only a couple of them require an actual iron input. And there I go and realize that I don't need it for the smart inserters. And everything that should be taken care of there. I just need to run power back here now. Go ahead and put those out into a box for now. The smart inserters. I will eventually have to run those off into the whatever research facility I end up setting up. But for now, I'm just going to focus on getting a stockpile. Now I'm making sure everything's going to be running at full pelt. There we go, getting all that fed into everything. It's still a little bit of a bottleneck there. That should do. Alright, everything's working. You can see everything's constantly going. No bottlenecks anywhere in there. Awesome. I'm thinking I have to eventually do that for the belt production area as well. But for right now, I'm not too worried about it because eventually, the only thing that I ever have to really build up would be the red and blue belts, which can just go off to the side. So it's not really taking up a whole lot of room. I decide I'm going to go over here to my circuit production and upgrade everything to the blue assemblers, but then I have another biter attack down here in my smelting area. I should have realized that they would go here eventually, because there's that big base off to the west, and smelting does take a lot of... it produces a lot of pollution. Just realizing now that there was one line out from a furnace there that I didn't actually fix. Hopefully I'll take care of that in the future. Once again extending the iron production up a bit more. And this is a bit of overkill, but anytime you see that ore line backed up the way it is, it's always be a good idea to just set it out and get that taken care of. In the meantime, I'm going to need to set up some defenses down here, gather up some iron plates, build myself some turrets. While those are crafting in my inventory, go over here and set them up. Once again, always do at least 2. Right now I can only really afford to put 10 stacks of ammo in each one. And again, it's the non-armor piercing variety. So it's kind of weak. It'll have... Oh, there goes a biter just running past me. Like it was a game of Red Rover or something. And I think my most pressing need is the base up here to the north. So I'm just getting everything, making sure that they have enough ammunition, because this is where the attacks are coming from most frequently. And kind of testing the waters a little bit. And I decide, foolishly, in hindsight of course, to try to do a turret creep of this base up here. Not realizing, of course, that the standard ammo is just pitifully ineffective against such a thing. But, you know, you got to give it a try so that you know where it's not working. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make a foolhardy attempt up here. So just an exercise in futility is what all this is. Look at them all running out there. And I realized that right here is where I realized I don't even have the submachine gun. So I'm gonna go back down, gather up a few plates, and build myself an actual effective weapon. Get some ammunition there. It's a little bit better, but still pitifully weak against the ongoing hordes. Look at them, they're just constantly attacking me there. But, you know, like a trooper, I keep moving forward and trying to get this taken care of. And I can hold my own for a while until the ammunition runs out, of course. But then when I go in to actually take care of the spawner, you can see it's just not doing anything at all. I just ran out of ammunition and I barely got it down to like 80% of its normal health. So this is not going to work. I just decided to retreat, got a few stragglers. Yeah, that was just a horrible waste of time and resources. In the meantime, I've just got to build up all that ammunition. Decide to build a shotgun as well. Something I don't really rely on too much in the early game because the normal shotgun is not nearly as effective as the combat shotgun you get later on. But right now it's better than nothing. It's certainly better than the pistol. Um, so I'm just going to go back to focusing on defense instead of taking the fight to the aliens. In the meantime, I'm not going to be able to take the fight to the aliens until I get some more research done. So while I'm waiting for everything to craft in my inventory, I go and scout out some potential steel smelting spots. Realize that not nearly all of my iron smelters are in use, and that's because I'm lowering the iron ore down to a single lane on one belt, because the other side is taken up with the coal. So the only way to progress from this situation is through more research. So I'm deciding to put them between the belt and inserter production areas, because that way it's just you can get both red and green science in the same place. Later on, blue science production will probably be done in a different spot in the factory and then just piped in. For now, I'm going to stick to the standard 5-6 ratio of red to green science. There we go, splitting up some iron for those gears. Feed those in, knowing what I learned before, where you need 2 inputs for 1 output for optimum capacity there. And I'm going to bring in the copper plates. And this is a bit of a hack because I'm not using all 4 lanes yet, so just cut right through the middle of those 2 unused lanes. I'll fix that later when it becomes more relevant. And getting all that set up. Put the power in there, and this should all get going pretty soon. There goes the power line. Planning for the future again. And there it goes. That should be beautiful. And in the future, obviously, since it's a mega factory and all, I will plan on expanding it, possibly up to a 10-12 ratio. But for now, it's a slow and steady progression. Here I am bringing up the inserters from the inserter production to the north, and then the belt production to the south. Taking a moment to think about how I want to do this, and I'll just go ahead and take it off there. It's a bit of a hack, but it works. And so that's really all that matters, right? Feed those up onto the same belt as the inserters, and I'm going to have that feed into the green. And there it goes, and put that right out on the same belt as the red, and I'll just feed those right into the laboratories. And that should do it for there. I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct the temporary research center over here, let that factory finish out its remaining resources, and just waiting around for that. There it goes. But I have like something like 86 red science packs in there. I'm not going to wait for it to take all that out. And now I'm just thinking, how much room do I want to give myself? And do I want to put the laboratories in line with that red-green belt? Eventually, that's what I decide to do. I'm just going to give myself some room over here. And if I need to move that later, I'll go ahead and move it later. For now, that should be enough room. Craft up some more labs so it's not just the 2. We can get research done a little bit more quickly. But then I don't have enough resources to build anymore. So I'm going to have to go back and get some more iron plates here in a moment. But at least we've got some research going. There we go. And get rid of that rock right there. I hate when those are in the way. Clear out some more area. I should be able to get 8 labs up and running. Whoops, gave myself a spare spot there. Don't need that. And bringing those over with the long arm inserters. Now, I don't set up a long arm inserter production area because I try not to rely on them any more than absolutely necessary. So whenever I need a long arm inserter, I'll just craft it in my own inventory. Everything else, though, I've got this handy little inserter production area up there. And I realize I've got a whole bunch of fast inserters in my inventory from when I did that reconstruction job up there, and I'm not actually using them at the moment. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up some steel smelting. I realize these last 3 rows of stone furnaces are not actually being used. Once again, because of the limitation of using only a single lane on the belt for the iron ore. Right now I'm just weighing the possibilities of doing steel production right there where it is, or if I want to set up a new area. Ultimately I decide I'm going to set up a new area for that, because eventually I'm going to want to expand my iron production up here, and I'd have to relocate the steel production anyway. I'm going to leave some of the infrastructure there, because I will need it eventually. But in the meantime, I'm trying to also figure out how to split off the coal line for this new area. And for a minute here, I debate on whether or not I just want to bring it over from where it is now, or bring up a new line from down here. Eventually I decide I'm just going to bring it up from the area down below. And I'm going to set up the steel smelting operation over here. There goes some more research. Speaking of steel smelting, alright, here we go. Get all the spacing worked out. And there we go. I'm going to do it the same formation as I do below, where the ore is fed up through the middle and the finished product is fed out the side. And there are pros and cons to which way you want to do it. If you want to feed the ore up the sides and have the finished product come up the middle, it's really a matter of throughput. Right now, it's not going to be a huge difference, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it the way I always do it. If you want to try to convince me otherwise, I'm all ears. You want to put some comments to the video, go right ahead. Because as I've said before, I'm just kind of doing this all by the seat of my pants. So if there is a better way, please let me know. Alright, here we go, bringing the coal up there, and this is kind of, again, an ugly hack, but we don't rely on coal forever, so eventually it'll be fine. There I'll go all the inserters, and steel production is underway. There we go. Alright. Now it's just sort of a matter of trying to figure out what to do next. I do need some more belts. Realize that I got rid of my only belt output in order to feed the research. And I can finally make the armor-piercing bullets, so I'm going to go ahead and start making some of those, now that I've got the steel for it. Circuit production is still going. I'm debating on whether or not I want to put in another section of that right now, or if it can wait till later, because I'm really not using a whole lot of circuits right now. Well, actually, I've passed the inserter area up there. It looks like I am running a bit low on that. Smart inserters are not getting any more circuits, so I'll probably have to do that again later. For now, though, I want to make sure that all of my turrets have armor-piercing ammunition in them, not just the regular kind. Go over here. I'm going to set up a junk box, get rid of all the burner miners that I have there. I realize that I don't really have a whole lot of junk on me, but you know, it's there, and I will be needing it eventually, especially with all these stone furnaces that I will eventually be upgrading. Just crafting a whole bunch of armor-piercing ammunition, especially needed up here. I can see that those supplies were already dwindling from the regular ammo. Gather up some more steel and make some more ammunition. Eventually I will make a production area for that. But right now I just kind of want to let the steel supplies build up. There I go, testing the new armor-piercing ammo with another suicide run up there. I still get injured, but not nearly as bad as it was last time, so it's definitely an improvement. And right now I'm just sort of tooling around, checking everything out. I will eventually be able to make steel production or steel furnaces, but I don't have enough of it right now. But anyway, we've come to the end of the episode today. Thank you very much for taking this journey with me, and never stop building.